All right, here are the answers to those monitoring progress questions. For number 1, you should have gotten x plus 1 times x plus 6. And for number 2, x plus 1 times x plus 8. So pause the video, make sure you got those correct before you move on. Okay, we're going to move on to example number 2. So for example number 2, we're factoring x squared minus 8x plus 12. So remember, our first step, we want to find a, b, and c. So a is going to be 1, b is negative 8, and c will be 12. Next, we need to do a times c. So that means we're doing 1 times 12, right? Those are a and c values to get 12. So we want to find two factors that multiply to 12 and that add to negative 8. Now let's take a second and think about this. We want to multiply to get a positive number, but add to get a negative number. Well, the only things we can multiply to get a positive are doing a positive times a positive or a negative times a negative. Those will both result in us getting a positive. But if we add those, if we added a positive plus a positive number, that's just going to give us a bigger positive number, right? If we do a negative number plus a negative number, that's going to give us a negative number. So we know that when we're looking for our factors, we need two negative numbers. So we could do negative 1 times negative 12. There is negative 2 times negative 6. Negative 3 times negative 4. So those are all factors that if we multiply them, they'll multiply to positive 12. Now we need to add them and see which ones are going to add to get negative 8. So negative 1 plus negative 12, that's going to give us negative 13. What about negative 2 plus negative 6? Well, that will give us negative 8. And you can check your last one, negative 3 plus negative 4 will be negative 7. So our answer is negative 2 and negative 6. So that means when we build our box, we have our first term, x squared in the first box, last term, 12 in the last box, and then our negative 2 and negative 6 are going to be negative 2x and negative 6x. And it doesn't matter which box you put them in, you'll get the same answer either way. Okay, so now if we're looking at this and we want to find our side lengths, what do x squared and negative 2x have in common? Well, they both have an x. And if that side's x, what does this side have to be to get x squared? It needs to be x, right? X times x is x squared. If that top side's x, what would the bottom need to be to get negative 6x? It would need to be negative 6, right? Negative 6 times x would give us negative 6x. If this is negative 6, what would this side have to be to give us 12? Well, that would need to be negative 2, right? Negative 6 times negative 2 will give us positive 12. And then we can check our last box. We have x times negative 2. Does that give us negative 2x? Yeah, it does. So our answer is going to be x minus 2 times x minus 6. Okay, and again, if you want to check it, you can come over here and multiply it out. So you get x squared minus 6x minus 2x plus 12. Combine our like terms, we get x squared minus 8x plus 12. And so that's what we started with, so we know we got our answer correct. Okay, let's do another example. Example number 3, we have factor x squared plus 4x minus 21. So with this one, we need to find our a, b, and c first. So a is going to be 1, b is 4, and c is negative 21. Okay, now we need to do a times c. So our a value is 1. Our c value is negative 21. So a times c is going to be negative 21. So this means that we need to find two factors that multiply to negative 21, right? That's our AC. And then they need to add to 4. That's what our B is. So if we need two numbers that are going to multiply to be a negative number and then add up to be a positive, that means we need to do a negative times a positive, because that will give us our negative number. And then a negative plus a positive will be either positive or negative depending on which one's bigger. And so if we have a bigger positive number, then we'll know that we're going to get our positive answer. So let's think of some factors of negative 21. We could have negative 1 times 21. You could also have 1 times negative 21. We could have negative 3 times 7, and we could have 3 times negative 7. All right, all of those will multiply to get negative 21. And now we just need to see which ones are going to add up to 4. So if we do negative 1 plus 21, that's going to be 20, so that doesn't work. What about 1 plus negative 21? Well, that's negative 20, so that one doesn't work either. Negative 3 plus 7 will be 4, which is what we're looking for. And if you check your last one, 3 plus negative 7, that'll be negative 4. So we know that our factors that we want are negative 3 and 7. So now we're going to build our box. So first term in the first box, last term in the last box, and then our two other boxes are going to be negative 3x and 7x. Okay, and now we just need to find our side lengths. So what do x squared and 7x have in common? Well, they both have an x. If that side's x, what does this side have to be to get x squared? That would need to be x as well, right? X times x is x squared. If that top side's x, what does this side need to be to get negative 3x? It would need to be negative 3. And if that side's negative 3, what does this top side have to be to get negative 21? Well, it would need to be a positive 7, right? Negative 3 times 7 will be negative 21. And then we can check our last box. We have x times 7. Is that 7x? Yes. So we know we got all our sides correct. So our answer is going to be x minus 3 times x plus 7. And again, if you want to check it, you just need to multiply it out. X minus 3 times x plus 7. You get x squared plus 7x minus 3x minus 21. 7x minus 3x is going to be plus 4x. And then we get the same thing that we started with. So we know our answer is correct. Okay, I want you guys to try numbers 5 and 6 on this monitoring progress questions, and then I'll give you the answers at the beginning of the next video.